Today is going to be our first Wednesday project. I'm Viveca, and every Wednesday we're going to explore our tips, tutorial, features, and helpful techniques to help you get all you need to gain from your embroidery journey. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started, and thank you for tuning in. I do appreciate your time, and I hope it's something that you can learn and take back to your embroidery machine and put it to use. Let's go ahead and get started with today's project. Today's project, we're going to be working with Mylar. That's a mouthful. And the Mylar sheets comes from Pearly Gates. I love this stuff. It is amazing. And here she just sent me these. Well, of course I paid for those, but I just got these from Pearly Gates. So this is the website email address. I mean the website address. So if you would go ahead and take it and look it up, because her designs are simply beautiful. So we're going to go ahead and get started today. And this is what you will need for this project. And as I go through with it, I'm going to go ahead and put it together. Today I will be using the 10x6 hoop. First of all, I need my hoop. So I'm going to go ahead and put my hoop down. And the next thing that I'm going to need is my stabilizer. This is tearaway stabilizer. And I think I'm going to use 2 of these stabilizers, because I do not want any puckering at all. Okay, because we are dealing with the Mylar. I feel the little notches on the side that represents, and I don't know if I can catch it right here on the camera, but let me pull it up and show you. See those right here? Right there, yes. And at the top and down at the bottom. Oh, and this hoop feels really nice. It's got a coating around it to keep your fabric from slipping. So what I'm going to do is just put my tearaway down, and I can feel the little ridges on the side here. Just going to take that and mark it with a pen. Or I can also use my chalk here. I think that'll be better. It's easy to, I'm just marking where the center is. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to use is one more other stabilizer here. Put it down. This is a show no match stabilizer. And I don't know if you can tell on the camera or not, but I can still see the marks that I made right here through the stabilizers. The next layer that we will have is the actual fabric itself. And each one of those blocks are going to be an 8x8 block. And I've already pressed this out, and I have my crosshairs in the middle right here in the center. Also, I'm going to line these up with the little markings that I had on the outside to make sure that I have the center points here. This fabric I cut, I think it was a 15x15. Okay, I think we've got it all together. My center mark is here. And I think I use one of these for my center mark. Let's go ahead and use our clamps for our hoop. Yeah. There we go. They are really holding this fabric. These magnets are. And my placement, I've already got it marked anyways. I know where I want the design to be placed. And one good thing about magnetic hoops, you can slide and move your fabric around like you want, even if you get it on your sewing machine or your embroidery machine and you don't think it's in the right place you need for it to be. So you do have some forgiveness there. Okay, so one good thing about this magnetic hoop here is that you have the entire hoop is magnetic all the way around. Okay, move this over a little bit. Let me take my picture. And this is the pattern that we're going to be doing today. It's going to be with this ring ID wed. So I've got my hole right here. So there's several ways that you can always line up everything and how you want it to line up. So here we go. I think I'm going to want it right there. So I'm going to take my chalk and let's go ahead and have my spot in the middle here. And I can always move this around because this is going to be an 8 by 8. So now we have on here our tearaway. We've got our other product that we're using here, and then we've got the fabric. So tearaway stabilizer, our other stabilizer, and our fabric. Now what I need to do now is let's take this on to the machine, and remember what's going to make everything pop is this Mylar from Purely Gates, the Mylar sheets. And it doesn't matter whether the Mylar is crunched up like this, that doesn't matter. And if you take a look at the design, and this design is from Purely Gates Embroidery Mylar Matrimony. That is the sign that we're using here today, the design. And if you notice at the very bottom here, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but I hope you will. Place Mylar after this color change stitches. That's in the green. So when I get down to thread number 3 stitch right here, what I'm going to do after that stitch is out, then I put down the Mylar sheet, and then I remove it after it's stitched out over on item 5. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Now that we're at the avenir, I'm gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and get started here, and let me go ahead and put in the hoop. Putting the hoop in. Okay, here. So now the next thing that we need to go ahead and do, let's check on our design that I'm going to use. Also have my thread ready to go. This is the color that I'm using here. Okay. Also, we're using gold, and this is the color, some of the colors that she's using in the wedding. So I'm trying to match up the design with the colors in the wedding. Okay, so here we go. Let's move these out of the way and go ahead and pull up. Let's go ahead and pull up our design. First thing that we're going to do, let's click on embroidery, because this is an embroidery design. And since I had this transferred over from the database transfer, So what we're going to go ahead and do, let's find our design. So we'll go into the pocket. And then going into the pocket, since it was transferred by the internet, so we'll go here. Since it was wireless transferred, we'll click on the pocket and the wireless. You have to touch it very hard. So we're waiting for it to bring up the designs. So let's see which ones they're bringing up, and it's taking a while. Okay, here we go. So let's go through and look for, we're looking for the design that says, with this ring, I thee wed. So that's the design that we're looking for. Okay. So let's go through here and see. I don't think I have too many designs on here yet. And we're looking for the one that's, I think I had transferred over the 8x8. So here it is here. And so there it is on my screen. So if you notice on the screen here, let's bring you up a little bit closer so you can see. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's bring it up a little bit closer. I thought I had cut it off there for a minute, and I could have. I did. So let's bring it up a little bit closer so you can see here. And if you notice on the screen here, it will have how many colors I need for change colors. Well, color change is 7, number of colors that I have. That means that I only need 4 colors, but we're going to change that 7 times. It's going to take me about 20 minutes to stitch this out, or the machine is going to stitch it out, but it's going to take 20 minutes for that. And also the size of it. The width is going to be 7.73. The width is going to be 5.42, and then the height is 7.73. I am using a hoop of 6x10, so that should fit in the hoop, the width and the height. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm gonna tell it to sit because this is the one that I want. And at the very bottom here, click on that, and then if you look at the screen here, you'll be able to see all the different areas that I'm going to have here. Let's see. Let's take it back a little bit. Yeah, that's good. So let's see here. So here we go here. So there we are. This is my product that I'm going to stitch out, and then these are the colors. Of course, my colors are going to change a little bit comparing to what they have. So let's go ahead and see what we've got. Let's say I want to take a look. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring up the design on my fabric over here on the hoop. So in order for us to do that, then I just click over here. This clicker is hard to press. I do it that way. That'll get it up. And it tells me right here on the screen, project is on the carriage of the embroidery unit will move after pressing. Okay, click it. Oh yeah. So now if you look over here, try to bring it a little bit closer. You can see the design right here on my fabric. Okay, so now that we've got it on the screen and also on the fabric, I want to see what it looked like. So I love the way it looks. Only thing that I need to do next is to make sure that it's going to be centered. Okay, here we go. So let's go ahead and center it. Show you where I am on here. And I don't know if you can see it, but my little spot is right there. So it's almost centered anyways, but I need to move it over just a little bit. Okay, so then I come back over here to my screen, and then I touch layout. So on my layout, I'm going to go ahead and move it where I want to, or I could have used a snowman and the camera would have found it and lined it right up immediately. So if you look on the screen, you'll see the crosshairs right here, right? So I also want the crosshairs to show up on my fabric as well. So I'm gonna click on it. And you remember when we were on here yesterday, I turned my crosshairs to purple. And I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna try to zoom in and show you. See the crosshairs right there? Yes. So this is where I'm going to try and line it up to where I want my crosshairs to be. So what I'm going to do is take the different arrows on here and just slide it over. And you can see it moving. And there it is. It's just where I want it to be, right there in the center. Now the next thing that I want to do, now that I have my crosshairs in place and I told the machine this is where I want it to be centered at, then what I'm going to do is come back to my screen. Okay, let's see what I got this. Got to operate all of this stuff. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and click on OK. Okay, so it's where I need for it to be. And now the next thing, what I always tell you to do, and never forget, before you start your embroidery machine to stitch out your design, you definitely want to go in and do what? Trace. Trace is your friend to keep from tearing up your machine. So let's go to trace, and this is down here at the bottom. Click it. And then at the very top, here it's got trace. So you're going to click on trace here. And it'll start the machine to trace. So, and then it's put it right back in the place where I need it to be, to start in the middle. So now that we've traced and the machine has done everything we ask it to do, good machine. Thank you, sweetie D. So what we're going to do next is click OK. And now we're ready to get started. So the next thing that I'm going to do is press the layout so to bring me back to my screen to tell me what I'm going to stitch out first. So this says deep green. Of course, we're stitching out. You can see it right here on the screen. And those items are going to be in black. So I'm going to go ahead and stitch those out now. Let's turn this off up here. I don't need that on anymore. Okay, so, okay, here we go. So now I'm going to go ahead and thread our machine. Okay. Let's make sure that our presser foot is open here. Okay, let's thread our needle by pressing the needle threader. Okay, so our needle is all threaded. And so we're ready to go. And remember, we're not going to use the Mylar until we get down to item number 3 here. And after item number 3 stitches out, that's when we'll use the Mylar. Okay, so let's turn back over here. And this is what we're going to stitch out now. That particular one would take us about 7 minutes. And remember, we said it's going to take us 20 minutes. And we have 7 color changes that we're going to go through, but we only have 4 colors. And then this tells you right at the top all the different color threads that we're going to be getting to. And right now we're working on the black. So all I got to do now is just let it run. Okay, so let's let down our presser foot. The light is on green. And let's get it going. sometimes you're working with so many different things, you would just forget. So I checked that off my list. And then we'll come right over here, and you can see right there, we've used up 6 minutes of that 20-minute allotted time that it's taken us to stitch this out. Let's see what the product is looking like here. Let's take it back over here. Let's see what we got. There we go. This is where it's stitching at. You can see it moving from place to place. These machines are awesome. You gotta love it. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. My battery ran out of juice, so we had to use some other sources. So let's go ahead and get started and finish this up. I've changed the thread to gold. We've got to print out now the hearts and the little design in the very top up there. I don't know if you can see it, but this should take us 2 minutes to stitch that out. And so right now on our sheet we're at number 2. So I'm gonna go ahead and check that off. Let's go ahead and stitch it out. Oh, I press a foot and the light is on green, means go. Let's go. So we are getting there. I cannot wait until we add the Mylar. It's going to be, we're ready to change colors again because the machine just told us that it was time to change colors. So it's finished stitching out the gold. Now it wants us to put the other color in, and it's ring and wed. Okay. Thread it. So now we're ready to move on to the next step. And it's showing us what we're going to be able to embroidery out. And this is the next one. This is number 4. Okay, so this is number 3. I'm sorry, this is number 3 on here. That's this color here. I'm trying to get it on the camera. Right there. So you see that green dot? So what that green dot means, after it says place the Mylar after this color change stitches. So after this color change stitches out, then I'll go ahead and put the Mylar in. Okay, let's go over here and watch it stitch out. And I can't wait for you to see exactly how it stitches out on here. Now that that's printed out or stitched out, so now I've got to change the thread again, and then we'll change the thread back to the gold. Okay, so now I've got to go through and add the Mylar. So I know if you look on the screen here, if you look on the screen there, it's going to have ring and wed. Those are the only 2 things that the Mylar is going to cover. So I'm going to go ahead and put the Mylar down. And I'm going to use enough to go across the top where it says ring. Okay. And you don't have to tape it down or anything like that. And then the next one on the bottom here is going to be wed. So I'm going to get a piece that would just fit wed down there. Okay. Okay, so here we go. It's going to take us 5 minutes to print that out over there. Okay. So this is really a quick process, and I could have been finished if we were not doing a tutorial. Okay, there it is right now. I'm gonna break it down a little bit more for you so you can see it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's tell it to go. Let's go, Joe. So there it is printing out now, or stitching out. And you don't have to hold it down, because what it does, she's got it digitized where it goes all around whatever the Mylar is going to cover. Just attaching it. So now what it's going to do is go through and fill in all of that wording, and I probably should have done red instead of the gold there. So let me change out the thread real quickly. So it's just going back over everything. Now if we had chosen gold, then we could have just let gold print it all the way through. But I decided to do the fuchsia color. So I think what I'm going to do right here, since we also had, I want to make sure that shine is going to shine on through. I'm going to do this. Tell anybody. This stuff is so sticks directly to your hands. Let's see here. Okay, let's go with it. Let's see what we got. Oh. There we go. It just picked up where it left off. Yes, no harm done. Okay, so you can see how it's printing there. How it is stitching out. And this Mylar, you can wash it, you can iron on it. It's very durable. Okay, so that's stitched out. It just comes right up. Also like to clean up. Let's straighten it up. Put it back on the machine. There we go. Get in, put down our presser foot, and let's go. So there's a color right there in the middle. What is that? It's all done, so let's take it out. And let's see what we have. That's what it looks like. It is so pretty. So let me take it out the hoop. That is gorgeous. And the light really doesn't, it's not, can't see all the shine that you want. You can come up close. See how it glitters? That's so pretty. So pretty. This is going to be a wall quilt that we're going to hang up at my granddaughter's wedding. It's a surprise. She doesn't know it yet. This is ones that I previously completed. So beautiful. All that just shines. Look at there. It's just gorgeous. That glitter. I think this might be my favorite one. And my granddaughter's wearing her hair just like this picture here. So beautiful. Thank you all so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join me this evening. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you were able to learn something from it. Make sure you go on that website. I'm sorry, Purely Gates. Such beautiful, beautiful designs on there, and check it out. I have fallen in love with all of her designs. One we just finished tonight. So it is getting there. So anyways, thank you so much for tuning in. And don't forget to share, like, and comment. And thank you for just taking the time out of your busy schedule. It means so much to me. Also, go out and tell somebody just how much you care. And don't forget to keep on what? Stitching.